In Matthew 9:37, the scripture says this, "Then he said to his disciples, 'The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few.'" One could imagine Jesus having his disciples around him, turning slowly and looking each in the eye, saying, "Great harvest is possible, but we have to have these few team members multiply into more. Get on your knees now," he would say, "and pray for more harvest hands." The team listened in the huddle as he prepared them, and they prepared themselves as they were to take on the known world at that time. Those 12, converted thousands. That turned into millions. Jesus' cross went across the world. The harvest was phenomenal. You see, out of that small huddle, when Jesus explained to them that there was a great harvest, but they needed more help, changed the world. The opportunity to believe in Jesus Christ spread throughout the known world. Thousands came to him. The game of football and those who play it can unite a university, a community, and, as many institutions call their alumni, can even unite the nation. For over a half century now, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has used this concept of a huddle to build camaraderie among those that are in the huddle, to share knowledge and instructions with each other, to pray and study the Bible. And in so doing, they continued the harvest that was started in that very first huddle when Jesus called those disciples together, probably looked them in the eye and admonished them, "You must get more. They must join us in our quest." Across campuses, across the nation, even in families, the huddle is working in a positive way. A huddle brings you closer together, many times with arms around each other, sharing our belief in Jesus Christ with others. We're part of an ever-extended huddle created long ago when Jesus brought the disciples together. He needed more hands to harvest. When one accepts Christ and is willing to leave the huddle to increase the harvest, amazing things happen. John Karkoska was a young freshman that came to Baylor, and we redshirted him. John, beginning of his redshirt year, had an opportunity to start after one of the guards in front of him was injured. Somehow, on that fateful day, John had a heat stroke. It was in nearly September and a normal day, but he had a heat stroke. 10 days later, John Karkoska passed away. Now here's the story that is amazing about John. As a high school youngster, he had gotten into the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He was a part of a huddle. When he came to Baylor, he was a part of the huddle. And during those periods of times, along with his pastor and his youth leader at church, he became a very strong, committed Christian. And he lived a life as a Christian. Obscure freshman as he was coming in, individuals on the team began to notice him because when someone was injured, he would go talk to them and try to encourage them. He would read his Bible every night, and a young Jewish boy was his roommate, a running back. And when John went down with the heat stroke and was in the hospital, his life ebbing away, that young Jewish boy came to me and said, "Coach, John reads his Bible every night. May I take it to him in the hospital?" And I went with him, and we did. After John died, we took 3 buses of players and coaches to the funeral in Houston. During the funeral, John's life was laid out and proclaimed loudly and clearly. At a young age, he was an influential Christian in his high school and at Baylor University. Coming back on the bus, because of John's influence, though he had already gone home to Jesus, 24 of his teammates accepted Christ. Those 24 brought others to know Christ. And that pebble in that smooth water is going on